We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India pays homage to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 76th death anniversary. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend prayer meet at Gandhi Smriti on the occasion of Martyrs' Day. Israel charges back into Gaza City. US vows all necessary actions to defend its troops after a deadly attack in Jordan. White House says the US not seeking to escalate, not looking for war with Iran as Biden ordered retaliatory attacks on Iranian-backed groups. India to take on New Zealand in the Under-19 World Cup Super 6 stage match at the Mangong Oval Stadium in Bloemfontein, South Africa. And on to details now. India pays homage to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 76th death anniversary. The day is also observed as Martyrs' Day. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on this day in 1948. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend prayer meet at Gandhi Smriti in New Delhi on the occasion of Martyrs' Day. And the Israeli army has said that it has so far killed over 2,000 Palestinian terrorists in Gaza's Khan Yunis city. The military spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said that Israeli troops have also dismantled 2 of 4 Hamas battalions in the city. The units operated above ground and from within underground tunnels. He added that the army will keep focusing on dismantling the remaining Hamas battalions in Khan Yunis.
In all of Khan Yunis, we have eliminated more than 2,000 terrorists above and beneath the ground. In addition, we destroyed significant underground infrastructure in which we found facilities for holding hostages, command centers, weapons, production facilities, and intelligence material.
And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinkin has called the latest proposal to secure the release of Israeli hostages strong, citing alignment between Israel and mediators Qatar and Egypt.
The proposal is a strong one and a compelling one that, again, offers some hope that we can get back to this process. But Hamas will have to make its own decisions. I can just tell you that there is, again, strong, I would say, alignment among the countries involved that this is a good and strong proposal. And the work that was done over the weekend, including by CIA Director Bill Burns, was important in helping to advance this.
Well, Blinken also said that the U.S. will closely examine steps the United Nations Aid Agency for Palestinians takes in response to allegations that its staff were involved in the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel.
The reports that we got last week, and UNRWA brought them to us, were deeply, deeply troubling. It is imperative that UNRWA immediately, as it said it would, investigate, that it hold people accountable as necessary, and that it review its procedures. I had a very good conversation with Secretary General of the United Nations, Guterres, last week when we were first made aware of these allegations, and we're going to be looking very hard at the steps that UNRWA takes, again, to make sure that this is fully and thoroughly investigated.
Also, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the United States expects Hungary to approve Sweden's NATO accession in the weeks ahead on Monday.
We see that NATO is advancing with a sense of urgency and a strong sense not only of unity of purpose, but unity of action. Just at the very end of last week, Turkey approved Sweden's accession to NATO. Sweden brings tremendous capabilities to the alliance in every domain. Hungary now will have to act in order to complete the process of Sweden's accession. but I fully anticipate that that will happen in the weeks ahead when Hungary's parliament returns.
Well, the White House said on Monday that the U.S. is not looking for a war with Iran or seeking to escalate the tensions in the West Asia in the wake of the recent drone attack on its troops in Jordan. The attack on Sunday killed 3 U.S. soldiers and wounded more than 40 troops. It was the first deadly strike against U.S. troops since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October and marks a major escalation in tensions that have engulfed the West Asia.
We are not looking for a war with Iran. We are not seeking a conflict with the regime in a military way. And as I said in the opening, we're not looking to escalate here. This attack over the weekend was escalatory. Make no mistake about it. And it requires a response. Make no mistake about that. I will not get ahead of the president's decision-making.
Meanwhile, the U.S. military on Monday released photos of the 3 U.S. troops killed in a drone attack on a U.S. base in Jordan by Iran-backed militants on Sunday. The soldiers were identified as Specialist Kennedy Layden Sanders, 24, Breonna Alexandria Moffett, 23, and Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46. The Sundays, which wounded dozens of other soldiers, was the first deadly strike against U.S. troops since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October and marks a major escalation in tensions that have engulfed the West Asia. Well, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron will travel to Oman on Tuesday, where he is expected to call for stability over ongoing Houthi attacks in the Red Sea and de-escalating of tensions in the Middle East. Cameron, on his 4th visit to the Middle East, will travel to Oman to meet his counterpart Badr Abdul Saidi to discuss how to diminish tensions across the region. Cameron will reiterate Britain's commitment to getting aid into Yemen and outline the actions Britain is taking to deter the Houthis from targeting ships in the Red Sea. In an earlier diplomatic tour, Cameron met Israeli PM, politicians on the Israeli-occupied West Bank, and also visited Qatar. And updates now on Russia-Ukraine war. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó arrived in Ukraine for talks with senior officials on Monday to the western city of Uzhhorod to hold talks with his Ukrainian counterpart Dmytro Kuleba and Presidential Chief of Staff Andriy Yermak. Ukraine and Hungary said they had laid the ground for a meeting of the leaders during talks in western Ukraine. Sadat arrived in Ukraine days before a European Union summit that will seek agreement on a financial aid package that has been held up by Budapest.
We came here with the aim to rebuild the atmosphere of trust in our bilateral relations between Hungary and Ukraine. I think we agreed that we have made encouraging steps towards this. There is still a long way to go and a lot of work will be needed. But we on the Hungarian side are ready to do the work and ready for further joint work.
Meanwhile, after the talks with Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó, talked with Ukrainian presidential official Andriy Yermak said Ukraine and Hungary are interested in holding a meeting between their leaders as soon as possible. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said the 2 countries had agreed to form a commission that would prepare proposals on the rights of the ethnic Hungarian minority living in Ukraine. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has retained cordial ties with Russia despite the war between Russia and Ukraine. And a Ukrainian rocket strike on the Russian-controlled city of Donetsk in eastern Ukraine on Monday. The city's Russian-installed mayor Alexei Kolemzin said that the strike killed at least 3 civilians. The city of Donetsk has been under Russian control since 2014, but Ukrainian troops continue to hold positions on the outskirts of the city of Donetsk, and the city regularly comes under artillery fire. And moving on, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak won the first vote in the upper house of Parliament on his legislation to revive a plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. Under the Rwanda plan, which has yet to be carried out, asylum seekers who arrive on England's southern coast in small inflatable boats would be sent to Rwanda to live. Sunak won despite lawmakers attacking the bill at length as unethical and unworkable during 6 hours of debate. With his Conservative Party trailing in the opinion polls before an election expected later this year, Sunak has invested large amounts of political capital in the Rwanda policy. He hopes it will allow him to meet a promise to stop the boats. And Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili resigned from office on Monday for the second time. At a briefing, Garibashvili announced that he would assume the role of chairman of the ruling Georgian Dream Party starting February 1st. Garibashvili said the party needed to focus on securing a convincing victory in the parliamentary election due to be held this fall. Georgian media, including both government and opposition, reported that Irakli Kobakzadeh, the current leader of Georgian Dream, would succeed Garibashvili as prime minister. And a group of French farmers blocked major motorways around France with tractors in a standoff with the government over concerns about inflation and competition from cheap imports. Farmers erected a wall of hay to block a highway towards Paris during a day of blockades that saw tractors congesting major highways around France. France's protest follows similar action in other European countries, including Germany and Poland, ahead of European Parliament elections in June. French government spokesperson told that new measures to help farmers will likely to be announced today. Well, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador downplayed the statement made by his American counterpart Joe Biden, who expressed his willingness to close the border between the United States and Mexico if lawmakers send him a border agreement. During a conference, López Obrador stated that the proposal is very demagogic, and he assured that it would not be viable considering the intense commercial exchange that the United States maintains with Mexico. However, the Mexican president expressed that he respects Biden very much and understands his circumstances.
So the position of we are going to close the borders is very demagogic. For example, I have a lot of respect for President Biden. He has conducted himself very well. So did President Trump before. He was very respectful of us. We understand the circumstances, but imagine closing the border. With a reasonable amount of thought, you wouldn't think that this is a solution. Imagine the level of economic and commercial integration that we have. We are the main partner of the United States in the world. How can we close the border?
Well, an explosive device mistaken for scrap metal claimed the lives of at least 7 individuals, including school children, in northeastern Nigeria's Borno state. The blast occurred in a school building. 6 of the children, aged between 7 and 11, picked up the explosive device along with some scrap metal and stored it in an uncompleted building at a school in a Gubbio area of the state. The device detonated as children sought to sell it as scrap metal to a metal scavenger. All 7 died in the incident. Despite a ban, scavenging for scrap remains prevalent in the region. And Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi jointly attended a ceremony held in Bangkok for signing an agreement for the export of Thai agricultural products to China. The Chinese side appreciates Srettha's decision to visit China as his first country outside the Association of Southeast Asian Nations after taking office. Leaders of the two countries have drawn up a blueprint for the building of a China-Thailand community, opening a new chapter in bilateral friendly cooperation. During the meeting, Srettha stressed Thailand's firm commitment to the One China principle. Wong emphasized the need for both sides to build the Belt and Road Initiative and speed up the construction of the China-Thailand railway. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Colombian National Police seized 130 poisonous dart frogs at El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, transported by a Brazilian citizen. The frogs were found to be dehydrated and stressed, and the environmental minister warned sanctions could be over $14,000. Joaldunak dancers in Iturin, Spain, perform a ritual dance in early carnival celebrations, warding off evil spirits and welcoming spring. The troupe, consisting of men from Iturin and Zubeta, is accompanied by costumes and customized vehicles. The celebrations are part of the early carnival season. King Charles returned home from the London clinic after 3 nights of hospitalization for a corrective procedure on an enlarged prostate. He was accompanied by Queen Camilla and his daughter-in-law Kate, the Princess of Wales, who had also been in the same private hospital for 2 weeks following abdominal surgery. Charles expressed gratitude to his medical team and those who supported his hospital visit. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Aiming to further strengthen India and Bhutan's relations across all sectors, India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Quatra meets Bhutan's newly elected Prime Minister Leochen Tshering Tokbe. Parts of North India engulfed in a thick blanket of fog, even as residents brave a further dip in mercury level. And we get you ahead how weightlifters from Andhra Pradesh have made an indelible contribution in promoting the sport at Khelo India Youth Games.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
And welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Vipakshi Khurana, and moving on. Maldives President Mohammad Muizzi is facing the ire of opposition lawmakers over his foreign policy, particularly his government's anti-India stance. Opposition parties have gathered the signature of 55 lawmakers, one short of impeaching the president. Adding to the complexity of the Archipelago's affairs, President Muizzi's party has filed a no-confidence motion against the Speaker of the country's parliament. Complete chaos prevails in the political affairs of the island nation. Let's have a complete picture in the next report. Ahmed Moeen Maruki in Colombo and Saeed Absarul Hassan in New Delhi reports.
Maldives President Mohammad Muizzi is facing a tough challenge as the main opposition party of the archipelago, the Maldivian Democratic Party or the MDP, has moved an impeachment motion against Muizzi over his foreign policy, particularly his anti-India stance. The Maldivian Democratic Party, along with the Democrats, has gathered the signatures of 55 members, just one short of impeaching the president. According to the Maldives constitution, a president can be impeached with 56 votes. Ibrahim Soli-led MDP and the Democrats under Mohammad Nasheed have expressed concern about the direction of the current administration's foreign policy, stating that it appears to be taking a sharp turn towards an anti-India stance. The development comes a day after high-voltage drama unfolded in the Maldives parliament over the approval of pro-China members in Muizzi's cabinet. Clashes broke out in the Maldives parliament on Sunday between pro-government MPs and opposition lawmakers over differences in the approval of 4 members of Muizzi's pro-China cabinet. Soon after taking oath as the president of the Maldives on November 17 last year, Muizzi, who is regarded as a pro-China leader, formally requested India to withdraw its military personnel from his country. He stated that the Maldivian people have given him a strong mandate to make this request to New Delhi. However, the reality is quite different on the ground, with Maldivian MPs backing very good and firm relations with India. As of now, the fate of President Muizzi hangs in the balance, as the Speaker of the Parliament has not yet decided to take up the matter. Adding a twist to the tale, the ruling president's party has filed a vote of no confidence against the Speaker. All in all, chaos prevails in the archipelago after incumbent President Muizzi took the reign of the country in November last year. With inputs from Moeen Faruqi, Bureau Report, DD India.
And Pakistan and Iran resolved on Monday to expand security cooperation as both nations sought to ease tensions after deadly cross-border strikes threatened diplomatic relations. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian met with Pakistani caretaker Prime Minister Anwar ul Haq Kakar in Islamabad. A statement issued by the Prime Minister's office said Kakar reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to further consolidate bilateral ties and extended an invitation to Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi to visit visit Pakistan at his earliest convenience. Pakistan's caretaker Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Jilani, speaking at a joint news conference with his Iranian counterpart, said the neighbours had several strong channels of communication with each other.
Pakistan and Iran have resolved to expand our cooperation, especially in the political and security domains. There was an agreement to cooperate to fight terrorism in our respected areas. We need to address and allay each other's concerns with regard to terrorism. And in this connection, we have agreed to station the liaison officers, on which an agreement was already in place at the earliest date in our two countries.
And India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Quatra met with Bhutan's newly elected Prime Minister Leonchen Sherring-Tobgay. During his visit to Bhutan on Monday, Quatra reaffirmed the close bonds and friendship between the two nations and assured Leonchen of India's firm commitment to partner with Bhutan, aligning with the priorities of the royal government and the people of Bhutan. Quatra also met with Bhutan's Foreign Minister Leonpo Dangyal and discussed important bilateral matters of mutual interest and ways to further strengthen India and Bhutan's relations across all sectors. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges students to compete with themselves and not others at a Pariksha Pe Charcha event held in New Delhi. He had a word of advice for parents to do not treat a child's report card as their visiting card. Sagnik Chakravarti reports for more.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with students, teachers and parents at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi during the 7th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha. The interactive program saw the participation of nearly 3,000 students, with the final examinations for various primary and higher school classes due in the coming months. Participants discussed issues and concerns related to the matter with Prime Minister Modi. The Prime Minister highlighted the importance of competition and said that healthy competition augurs well for students' growth.
मान लीजिए 100 मार्क्स का पेपर है, अगर आपका दोस्त 90 ले गया तो क्या आपके लिए 10 मार्क बचा है क्या? आपके लिए 10 मार्क बचा है क्या? आपके लिए भी तो 100 है ना? तो आपको उससे स्पर्धा नहीं करनी है, खुद से करनी है। खुद से करनी है कि वो 100 में से 90 लाया, मैं 100 में से कितना लाऊं। उससे द्वेष करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। एक्चुअली तो वो आपके लिए इंस्पिरेशन बन सकता है। और अगर यही मानसिकता रहेगी तो क्या करेंगे आप? अपने से तेज तर्रार व्यक्ति को दोस्ती नहीं बनाएंगे। आप ऐसे जिसकी कुछ चलती नहीं बाजार में उसी को दोस्त बनाएंगे और खुद बड़े ठेकेदार बन के घूमते रहोगे। सचमुच में तो हमसे प्रतिभावान दोस्त ढूंढने चाहिए हमने। जितने ज्यादा प्रतिभावान दोस्त मिलते हैं उतना हमारा भी तो काम बढ़ता है, हमारा स्पिरिट भी तो बढ़ता है। और इसलिए कभी भी हमने इस प्रकार के का ईर्ष्या भाव कतई ही अपने मन में नहीं आने देना चाहिए.
The Prime Minister also said that students should have strength to withstand pressure.
किसी भी प्रकार के प्रेशर को झेलने के लिए सामर्थ्यवान बनाना चाहिए. रोते बैठना नहीं चाहिए. मान के चलना चाहिए कि जीवन में आता रहता है, दबाव बनता रहता है. अगर जीवन में चुनौतियां न हो, स्पर्धा न हो, तो फिर जीवन बहुत ही प्रेरणाहीन बन जाएगा, चेतनाहीन बन जाएगा.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi also visited the art and science exhibition put up by the school students in New Delhi's iconic Bharat Mandapam. PPC is a movement driven by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's efforts to bring together students, parents, teachers and society to foster an environment where each child's unique individuality is celebrated, encouraged and allowed to express itself fully. Shagnik Chakraborty reporting for DD India.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. The inaugural edition of the India-Saudi Arabia joint military exercise Sadat and Sikh commenced on Monday in the northern Indian state of Rajasthan. Both the Saudi Arabian and the Indian Army contingent comprises 45 personnel who will train for operations in sub-conventional domain. The exercise will be conducted from 29th till the 10th of February. Dense fog continues to grip northern India, including the national capital Delhi, as a thick layer of fog blanketed the city amid cold weather conditions causing low visibility. And in sports, India will clash with New Zealand in the ICC Under-19 World Cup 2024, kicking off their Super 6 campaign on Tuesday. The match will take place at the Mangok Oval Stadium in Bloemfontein in South Africa, commencing at 1:30 p.m. IST. The Indian team has been in a brilliant form as they reached the Super 6 stage as the Group A leaders. The boys in blue notched up easy wins against Bangladesh, Ireland and USA and look confident to continue momentum in the match on Tuesday. New Zealand registered a second-place finish in Group D, having earned 2 wins from 3 games in the tournament so far. Sri Lanka and West Indies will be involved in another Super 6 Group 2 fixture of the day. And weightlifting in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh got more popular in the year 2000 when Karna Maleshwari bagged India's first Olympic medal. And now the state is promoting the sport, especially among women weightlifters. DD India's Deepika Meheto caught up with Neeraja and Bhavani, who bagged silver and bronze medal respectively at Khelo India Youth Games, to know more about the sport.
This is your first Khelo India Youth Games and you've got a silver medal and you've also got a bronze medal. How are you feeling about it? Are you happy?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And how difficult or easy was the journey of these players?
They had a lot of tough journey to come here. Now they got the result what they have fought for. But we are expecting in future for the gold, which is they aim to get a gold medal for India in international.
Coming from a humble background and also participating at a national level game like Khelo India is not easy because you have to maintain your fitness, your nutrition levels and everything. How did you manage all of that, being the coach?
First of all, the support of the Sports Authority of India government. They are providing a very good hostels and everything to the kids who are very young, talented, and they are giving such a facilities like transportation, accommodation, kids and good nutritionist diet.
When we talk about the bigger plans, what are the players dreaming of next?
Actually, everyone's main dream is the Olympics. They are dreaming about the Olympics only. Still, they have a lot of journey.
And how much Khelo India would help in that dream?
Yeah, Khelo India is the very good event for finding out the grassroots level talents. So because of that, Khelo India make one pathway to the Olympics.
Khelo India is indeed creating new pathway to their run-up to Olympics' coming edition. With camera person Senthil, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Chennai.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.